morning.
Hi, I'm Mr. Nazario, and here we are doing our second of many series of interviews. And today we have the honor and privilege to have Coach James Augustus Ball, our football, basketball, baseball coach at Baker High School, and also along with us is Paul Holmes, class of 1959. And Coach, your full name was James Augustus Ball. How did that name come about, Bubba?
My older brother couldn't say brother, so he called me Bubba.
Okay, that's right.
And it stuck.
And it's stuck ever since. I understand. Bubba was born on March 17, 1922, 89 years ago, and in Bessemer, Alabama. Had 3 brothers. Coach Ball, what did your parents do when you were going to high school? Were they teachers? What did they do?
Well, my mother was valedictorian of her class, but my dad quit his junior year and went to work and worked his way all the way through law school. And he was a judge, and the bus was cut off, and my mama was a homemaker at Scotch Irish and mean as a snake.
That sounds like a lot of our mothers, Coach. Coach, we're not going to talk too much about your elementary school, but we're going to talk about your high school. In high school, you played all sports. You was a left halfback in the football team. You were a guard on the basketball team. You were second base on the baseball team, and you ran the 100, 220, and 440 relay track team in the relay team.
And I played tennis also.
And played tennis also. Coach, what inspired you to play all sports?
Well, Vespa is sort of like Baker when I first got to Baker. First year we won the state championship, we actually had the enrollment of a Class A school, not a 5A school. And Vespa was like that. We didn't have enough students to participate in all those sports. And we couldn't let Birmingham schools beat us in that. That was sort of like that coincide each year, you know.
Thank you, Coach. Good explanation. Now, you have one coach that inspired all of you at Bessemer High School. Now, who was that coach?
That was Snit Snyder, Yule Snit Snyder. He was Auburn's first gold medal Olympic winner, and Coach Hudson taught him to run. He said no. They said, well, how'd you learn to run that way? He said, I ran along the riverbank, fell to the rabbits, see if they're fat enough to eat.
Let's thank you, Coach. Now, your favorite teacher in high school was Mrs. Thunberg.
Right. She taught Latin.
And why was she your favorite teacher?
Because she let me get away with her.
Now, in high school, I'm sure your times, just like our times, when we got out of hand, Coach, we got disciplined, and we had to go to the principal. And whenever you misbehaved by mistake, anyway, and you had to go to the principal, who did the discipline back then?
Mom and Daddy. And Daddy was president of the Board of Education. All you had to do was call the house, tell him we misbehaved, and that was it. You got to remember I was the second son, so that meant I was supposed to be an angel.
Thank you, Coach. Okay, Coach, you graduated in 1940, I believe. What did you do right after high school?
Well, I went to work to start with, and actually went to the University of Alabama. I don't claim it much, but I did. And then I went to service in Navy, 1942.
Now, while you were out of high school, you were working in the ore mines?
Ore mines.
Ore mines in the Bessemer area. That's good. So you went into the Navy in 1942, you said. What prompted you to join the Navy?
Keep me drafted in the Army.
Okay, that's the same reason that lots of the others. Now, during that time, before you joined, you were playing professional, semi-pro baseball. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was actually playing professional baseball 1 year before the war. But I was playing semi-pro baseball in high school because I was ruled ineligible my senior year because I'd already played 4 years because I played in the 8th grade.
That's very interesting. Moving right along, Coach. Let's see. While you were in the Navy, you were stationed in Miami, and you also played baseball in Miami. Tell us a little bit about professional baseball in Miami.
Well, I played at Miami the year after the war, and that was the first year Havana, Cuba came into professional baseball, and we were the first team that went into Havana. And the manager of the ball club was Paul Weiner, and we had a pretty good ball club, but we couldn't beat the Cubans. The Cubans they all looked alike, and you didn't know whose name was who, and they just had more ball players, just like right now. Half of the people in the major league are Spanish-speaking people.
Coach, do you remember what did you get paid at that time?
$65 a month.
$65 a month.
But my Navy pay was less than that. It was $19 a month.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Coach, you enrolled at the Alabama Polytechnic Institute in 1947, and you graduated in 1950. Now, I believe you were still playing either pro or semi-pro baseball at that time. And I think one of the teams you were playing for was Opelika. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I was a player manager for that team. And I went to school, took a full load in the daytime, played professional baseball every night.
I see, that is great. And when you were in college, you met this one individual called Paul Messick. And I think he told me that you were looking for a job. And you ran into Paul Messick, and Paul Messick told you about an opening in a certain school in Columbus, Georgia. Tell us about that.
Well, I don't know where we were probably out at a beer joint somewhere in Auburn.
Okay.
And sitting there, and he said, there's a job opening over at Baker High School in Columbus if you want to coach the rest of the year. Because this was around Thanksgiving. Thank
you, Coach. Coach, we're running short on time. At this time, I'd like for you to address your former players, your former students, and we have less than 2 minutes. Tell them anything you'd like to say to them.
Well, the one thing I found out is there's no such thing as a good winning coach without good players. And the Lord brought me to Baker High School exactly at the right time. There were plenty of athletes there. We didn't have enough coaches. And incidentally, the two coaches that were there, Jim McDaniel and Ed Wolf, were both good coaches. And the athletes were there, and there was just something about they just didn't really have the attitude to win. And I don't know what gets you that way, but it even happens on pro ball clubs at times, different years.
Thank you, Coach. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Baker. I know that's what every one of you fellows are waiting on, but at this time, I'm going to Paul Holmes. I started to call him Mr., but I don't know if I should or not. But Paul Holmes from the class of '59 has a presentation for Coach Ball.
We about the same age. Coach Ball, this is dedicated to you from the old great Baker High School, from the athletics, and also the students of Baker High School, the brick of torn down.
Is this at the gym?
No, Coach, that came, ironically enough, he came out for that side of the gym by the band room, because I picked up myself.
Well, you could just go line and say, yeah, right out in the middle of the gym. That's what you used to do when you was in school.
That's what I'm talking about. I got done that.
Moving right along. Moving right along. We don't have much time left. We're going to end this first segment right here. Coach, I want to thank you for being with us this first segment. Paul, thank you for being here. And we're going to do another segment on Coach Ball. And we're going to be talking a lot about Baker High School. So I want to thank you for being here with us. And at this time, on behalf of Coach Ball and Paul, we'll see you next time.